Hi, today I'm delighted to have Kaz with us, and Kaz is director of Pawz Perfect Dog Training, puppy training, and all things dogs. So also is extraordinaire at skills training and getting the best out of your dog, I think is probably one way of summing it up. Amazing expertise that Kaz has and can bring. And in property, we often get asked about pets. We often have tenants asking us if we would consider a pet at a property, and we've got owners asking, should we allow a pet, or they might not be keen to have a pet. And so we often talk through the pros and cons of that. And Kaz and I have been talking, and I thought it'd be great to chat to Kaz today with some tips for pets and properties, training dogs particularly, because that's her specialty. We won't be talking about cats or any other kind of pet, but today we're just talking about dogs. So Kaz, thanks for coming and joining with me, being prepared to do that. And
thanks for having me, Megan.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so Kaz, yeah, we've talked about a few things. How about you take it away with some of those things that we've chatted about, and how pets and properties, we often get people that either have a really noisy dog next door, or the concern for owners are damage, or hindering, I guess, lifestyle for those neighbours. So all those sorts of things. So look, I'll let you take it away from where you'd like to.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Megan. It's a real pleasure to chat with you. As always, I love chatting with you, and you do a wonderful job looking after property. So being able to contribute to people, to help them to get into a property, and also allay some fears from some landlords as well would be amazing, because I can come from both perspectives. I have been a landlord for a rental property before, so I'm aware of the challenges that having pets in your household and the stresses that could potentially bring. So one of the things I think is probably one of the main tips that I could give to people is offer a reassurance to your landlord that you will maintain the property, and that you will rectify any damages, clean the property. Most landlords don't like pets to come inside, but let's be realistic there. A well looked after pet is going to be inside with the family, and that means they're less likely to bark and become a nuisance. So my first tip would be to have a conversation somehow with the landlord and reassure them that you will make good and rectify any potential damage that your puppy or dog may create during the term of your tenancy.
Yes. Yeah, and I would agree with that. That's the key point, isn't it? I mean, I've got amazing pet owners, dog owners. They're amazing. We just had a situation recently where one had a puppy, and they did chew some carpet, but the tenant rectified it, and it was not a problem. They weren't trying to hide it. They came on board and got it sorted, and the finished result actually added real value to the owner at the end of the day, to the property. So generally we find that pet owners are wanting to come to the party, so to speak, and do all they can to make sure that property's been looked after. So yeah.
And that's a key point that you make, is don't try to hide it. If you do want to have a pet and you are a long-term tenant, then landlords like the idea of having somebody in their property long term, because they're usually wanting to look after their property because they feel like it's their home as well. So they're more inclined to allow a longer term tenant to have a pet. So if you can reassure them, don't keep it a secret, don't sneak the puppy in and then try and get away with it later. Be upfront, have conversations. If they do some damage, just like your kids might do, because little kids can be destructive too. Teenagers can be destructive. Adults can be destructive. We can all make mistakes, as can dogs. So the main thing is don't try and hide it. Have a conversation and be prepared to rectify any damage. And as long as you can create those reassurances for the landlord, it makes it a lot easier, because it is really difficult for pet owners to find a pet friendly landlord, I guess. So you need to do whatever you can to make them allay their fears that they might have.
Yeah,